so he lost everything he invested. June thought that this guy had a gambling addiction. Kyron started scolding him, shouting, even though it was a constellation. But he just sat and played like that. And then Ares surprised everyone by saying that he secretly invested his father's points. And his father, as we know, is Zeus. June said wearily. He didn't decide how he, in Ares' opinion, should save the constellation hunter. But if you fulfill the request of a god like Ares and earn his favor, you can certainly get a huge tip. Then Lucy asked June where they were going. June replied that they needed to go to Busan. Meanwhile, in the dungeon, Sam shouted to the guys that the monsters were still arriving, so everyone needed to prepare for battle. They kill, and there is no end to the monsters. Irene also fought bravely, and even so, there were a lot of monsters. Sam asked if Irene was okay. She replied that she killed those who were behind. Then Sam told the team to rest for a bit. Then he asked how much longer it was to get to the hall with the boss. The guy replied that they had already arrived and would see him soon. Anyway, they did well. They got here twice as fast as the Vanguard, the guy said. Sam replied that it was thanks to the guy. He heard that 6 A-rank people from the Vanguard were forced to let go. Apparently the monster was very strong. It is quite large. Its size is approximately 10 meters. If they had fought the monster from the start, they would have been able to clear this gate. The entire squad was exhausted from fighting the small creatures. The guy stood up and said that it was worth continuing. He wanted to finish this quickly and call his mother. The guys came to the gate and Sam said, "In front of them is the boss's hall. Don't be afraid. Tanks will go ahead." But as soon as the team entered the hall, they found no one, so they began to look for the dungeon boss. Suddenly, water started dripping from the ceiling, and Irene looked up and immediately shouted for the boys to run away. But they didn't have time. The monster instantly captured every person. Then Sam asked what was happening. But suddenly the guy's eyes popped out of his head and disgusting tentacles came out of his mouth. He said that he brought them all. The monster opened its eyes, and Sam saw that the monster had filled the entire ceiling. And June and Lucy had already come to the beach. June said that he would quickly save him and go to bed. Lucy asked what June was saying. Why couldn't Lucy go with him? June told her to calm down, and that this gate was even bigger than the gate of Tartarus. He hadn't felt this bad in a long time, but it was probably all because of yesterday, the last time she went with him. They came across a Hydra, and then he came up with a plan. He gave her money and said that she could buy her favorite candies with it. But Lucy got angry and shouted, he can't buy Lucy, because she also wants to enter the gate. June decided to tease her and replied that she could have bought 50 candies with that. And then Lucy started drooling and June thought, after all, everything can be bought and sold. Lucy proved it. June said he would be back soon. If a strange uncle came to her, she should say no thank you. That's how he entered the dungeon. June thought that it was too dark in this cave. Suddenly he stepped on a monster, and raising his flashlight, saw how many monsters there were. He was thinking about how he could get through if the road was blocked. His suit was still on cooldown. He would have to do without it somehow, if only he had a moped. Jun didn't know what to do, and this was just the beginning. Suddenly he received a notification. He was offered to buy a moped for a very huge price, which he certainly didn't want to do. $1 billion is somehow too expensive for a simple moped. Jun decided to find something else. Suddenly someone snuck up and asked what Jun was looking at so intently. Jun was so scared that he accidentally pressed the button and bought a super expensive moped. Then he started shouting and scolding Lucy. He asked what she was doing there. Lucy replied that she had already told him that she wanted to go with him. June was screaming, that is, she had been following him from the very beginning, and suddenly a moped appeared in front of them. It was a whole motorcycle, not a moped. The monsters appeared and then the guys got on it and rode off. Sam was all alone. He understood that he couldn't cope with this monster. He still had to save the team. The entire ceiling is the boss monster, only it was described completely differently. Moreover, the association never said that there are monsters that can enter a person's body and control it. If this creature could get out, it would be a real disaster no matter what. He had to defeat this monster here. Suddenly Irene opened her eyes and, taking out a knife, freed herself from the monster's captivity. Sam asked her how she was feeling. Was everything okay? Irene replied that she would be lying if she said that everything was fine. You need to deal with the boss as quickly as possible. Otherwise, everyone who was captured will die. Irene said she would distract the monster and Sam would use his trick. She made her strike and then Sam activated his powers, Ares' special attack. And after this blow, the guy was exhausted. The divine skill of the Punisher of Mars took all his strength. This is the true reason why the One Guild has managed to maintain its leadership until now. Not a single monster has ever survived this attack. But this one managed to survive. Irene ran and asked Sam to get up. But Sam replied that it seemed like this was the end. And suddenly, June rode out of the monster's eye on a motorcycle and shouted that he had a delivery for them. The guys were shocked. They immediately remembered the guy on the moped. They were told that they clearly have no talent for giving names. But it turned out it wasn't June who was speaking, but Lucy, who decided to change her image after June got a motorcycle. This image of Lucy left the boys even more shocked, but Lucy continued to confidently praise herself. Suddenly, that guy with the monster appeared behind her, and Lucy lost consciousness from fear. Jun surprisingly calmly grabbed the guy by the hair and pulled out that monster. He thought it was just a squid. The guy lost consciousness, and Jun looked up and saw that monster. June thought that they seemed to be on time, and asked which one of them was Sam. Running up to him, he asked if Sam was okay. He said that for some reason, Sam seemed familiar to him, and asked if they had met somewhere before. Sam got angry and shouted, "Enough chatter." First he had to defeat the monster because people were in danger. June asked, "Monsters are supposed to be caught by hunters. What can an ordinary delivery man like him do?" Then Irene decided that June was going to sacrifice the boys. But June immediately replied that this was not so. He said he was trying to say that it was Sam, not him, who had to fight the monster. Sam said that his weapon was broken, and at least he had a moped. June replied that he didn't have to worry about the weapon. He has a delivery for him. Suddenly a sword appeared, the great sword of Ares, which only existed in myths, ending the war. June said he had delivered the goods, so now he was leaving. Sam asked who had sent him this sword, and why he was walking so calmly into the dungeon. "And who is he anyway?" Jun said pompously. "If he wants to know his name, let him call him the Deliverer of the Gods." Then he got on his motorcycle and drove away. Sam said that the guy was talking nonsense, but he has no choice but to use this sword, the constellation of Ares, the second awakening. It was an incredible power. Now Sam was ready to fight the monster. He activated Ares' power and killed the monster with one swing of his sword. But after that, he lost all his strength again. The next day, the news reported about the gates in Busan, and that they finally closed the gates. Sam was in the hospital. All day, nothing but news about the gate. If it wasn't for that guy, they wouldn't have been able to close the gate. Dean ran into Sam's room, asking if the leader was really that hurt. But seeing that Sam was okay, he was a little disappointed. He added that Sam did a great job. He saw Sam's new weapon and asked where his old weapon was. Sam replied that it was broken. But it doesn't matter. Instead of it, he now has this sword. It was given to him by a guy on a moped. Anyway, he has a favor to ask of Dean. He found out who that guy on the moped was, and he wants Dean to find out where he lives. Dean asked why he needs the guy's address. Sam asked why they needed to get him into their guild at all costs. June returned to Olympus. Ares met him and asked if June had delivered the sword. June replied, of course, he had delivered it safe and sound. Ares sighed with relief and invited June to come in and choose a prize for himself. June told Lucy that he thought Ares was rude, but he's not. Lucy said that you can't call him rude. Lucy praised Ares, saying that he was a prince. Of course he was polite. But then Ares told Lucy to wait in the hallway. Only June would go with him. June and Ares approached the doors of the treasury. Ares said that each door weighs more than 3 tons. Then June asked how to open them. Ares asked what a stupid question, and just went and opened them. They entered the treasury. Ares said that everything that was here was the treasure of the rightful heir to Olympus. June asked if he could take any item he wanted from there. Ares replied that he couldn't give him just one item. It would be bad for his reputation. Ares started looking for something in the mountain of treasures and found a box. He showed it to June and told him to open it. June asked what was in it. Ares replied that he himself did not know. He did not open it because it was too expensive even for him. What was inside couldn't be anything bad when his father personally handed him the box, saying it was one of his most precious treasures. But when June opened it, he was very disappointed. He asked, Ares must be joking. This is what he calls a treasure, but it's just an ordinary club. Meanwhile, the sea was raging. The crew was in a dangerous situation. While sailing, they encountered sirens. The man asked whether it was worth entrusting his mission to that man. It was the great traveler Jason. At home, Jun finally managed to get a good night's sleep. After the mission in Busan, after meeting with Ares, he returned home late. Lucy asked for candy in her sleep, and Juna laughed that even nymphs talk in their sleep. He said that apparently she was too tired, and, covering her up, said that they would soon leave and she would have her own bed. Jun went to the store and noticed a poster, a test for hunters. Before, he didn't really want to become a hunter, but he cannot continue to penetrate the dungeons while hiding his identity. June returned home and told Lucy that he had bought something to eat when he received a text message. An order came from Hephaestus. June asked if he wanted to drink with him again. June arrived at Olympus. Hephaestus said. June arrived quickly today too. Hephaestus said that recently many people began to turn to him. He heard that June helped Chiron and Ares. June asked how he could help, when suddenly a man came. Lucy immediately recognized him. Fast shipping by sea, safe delivery, leading sales of Olympus Shipping Company. Mr. Jason, leader of the Argonauts. Jason said that he was known not only as an Argonaut, but also as an outstanding traveler. The voyage on the ship Argo was attended by the greatest people of ancient Greece. He heard a lot about June. He healed his adoptive father. Jason thanked June. Jun replied that he had done nothing of the sort. Jason replied that the rumors about his modesty were true, and asked if he could get straight to the point. There is a small problem with their service. They cannot carry out cargo transportation due to sirens. Previously, when they had problems with them, he asked Orpheus to sort it out, but now it's impossible. He went on tour. After everything he heard about him, he decided to immediately seek help. Jun asked if he was asking him to deal with the sirens. Jason answered, exactly like that. And then June thought why he was asking an ordinary courier to deal with the monsters. Jason said maybe he could make a decision after he heard about the reward. Seeing the price of the reward, Jun immediately agreed to accept Jason's order. Hephaestus said that sirens live in the sea, and it would not be easy for him to fight them in the water. June was scared, but Hephaestus said it was time for him to show what he was capable of. So they set out to sea, Jason said. Cargo ships are forced to sail only this way. Jun said he would deal with the sirens. Jason said he would give him a boat. But Jun replied that there was no need for that, and jumped up and summoned his motorcycle. June asked if there were monsters on these rocks. Lucy asked if he knew who the sirens were. June said they were mermaids. Lucy said that the sirens would be ordinary mermaids who sing well. Could Odysseus have saved himself from them by simply covering his ears? Sirens are experts in underwater attacks, and some of them can even turn a kraken into a snack. Jun said that they were not coming to them empty-handed and took out his club. The sirens noticed June and Lucy, and one of them said that she would deal with them. She swam towards June and suddenly jumped out of the water with her mouth open. June was foaming at the mouth about how Ares had praised that club and decided to try it on the siren. But when she hit the siren, nothing happened. She only asked what kind of stupid stick it was. June got angry at Ares. He used his helmet and hid behind the rocks. The sirens set off to search, and June asked if they would try to enter their base. There is a siren queen in the sea temple. It would be great if June could get rid of her, Jason said. Lucy asked if they would definitely be able to enter there, since the club turned out to be useless. And it really would be better to take at least a stone with you. It would be more useful, thought June. Then June decided to buy Zeus lightning to deal with the sirens. The siren complained that they had been without food for 10 days. Could they go hunting? The queen did not allow them to do so. Orpheus, who had recently disrupted their hunt, has left, and such an opportunity may not arise again. If they attack everyone, people will stop going to sea for a while. They'll wait a little longer, and soon there will be sea transport here with a bunch of people. June said she was just talking about such cruel things. Lucy said they wanted to eat the whole team. Then Jun asked Lucy if she remembered the noodles he liked so much. If she helps him, he will buy noodles 100 times tastier than those. Lucy immediately agreed. Then June began to explain Lucy's plan. She said that it seemed like it would be very dangerous for a person. June replied that she would do everything. He put a helmet on her and said that he believed in her. Lucy flew away. The helmet's effect only affects those who are near it. Now the sirens see him, June screamed sharply. If they want to taste him, let them catch up with him. Such impudence angered the queen of the sirens, and she ordered everyone to catch him. June quickly ran out of the temple and shouted at Lucy to throw lightning. Lucy activated Zeus's ball lightning and hit the sirens with it. June was able to get out. Initially the goal was only to kill the queen, but cutting down the weeds will also help the sailors. Lucy said they had done it, June asked. They had gotten rid of the queen, so why hadn't they paid yet? And then the queen jumped out of the rubble, grabbed Lucy, and threatened to kill them. Jun activated his motor suit, power mode, and ran to save Lucy. By hitting the queen, he saved Lucy. The power of the suit was very strong. Lucy said that there was no time to stare at the suit, but the queen was still alive and she jumped out, grabbed June, and dived into the water with him. She tried to drown Jun. He thought that he had just recently signed a contract to buy an apartment. He decided that he couldn't die like this, because he had only just begun to live. Jun summoned his club and hit the queen, the club reacting to the power, and the return was 100%. June hit her several times and jumped out of the water. So June destroyed the last siren in the sea and received his reward. After the task, the guys enjoyed delicious noodles at a snack bar. June said that everything was on him today, so she could order something else. What he didn't expect was that with Lucy's help, they would be able to defeat the sirens. But of course, June made the greatest contribution to the destruction of the Siren Queen. Even though he almost died, June told Lucy to eat as much as she wanted. She deserved it. Lucy had no plans to hold back after all. She helped him earn 500,000 points. If he exchanged them for money, it would be 6,000 billion won. He could even buy the ball lightning again. Of course, he was paid more for destroying the monster than for a regular delivery. She brought them pork in sweet and sour sauce, and Lucy began to devour it. But June said to eat the pork with this sauce first, and Lucy said it tasted even better that way. Lucy asked why make it so complicated when the sauce could just be poured on top. But June hit Lucy and told her to forget about it. June thought it was disgusting. After a hearty dinner, the boys returned home. They couldn't even move. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, and the day before that, he worked like a horse. So today he can rest in comfort. But then someone rang the bell and June stood up discontentedly, wondering who had come at such a time. June thought it might be the landlord, and when Sam opened the door, he asked, "This is June's apartment, isn't it?" Then June decided that it was a merchant, and slammed the door, and said that he would not buy anything. But Sam shouted that he came here because he knew everything about him, because he was the deliverer of the gods. June opened the door and asked who he was, and Sam had already taken out his sword, and said that he was about to break down the door. Then June remembered Sam and asked what he was doing here. Sam asked what he thought, after everything that happened. He came to invite him to the one guild before they got to the main thing. Here's the reward for helping. June opened an envelope for 500 million, and June said, well, how could he not help? People should help each other. Sam said he was glad June liked the award and invited him to join again. For signing the contract, he will receive 20 billion won immediately, plus 30 billion in annual payment. There are also bonuses for effective work, Sam thought. There is not and will not be a guild in the industry with better conditions than theirs. When he was discharged from the hospital, Dean said that the guy didn't even have a hunting license or experience, because he was able to go so deep into the Tartarus dungeon and kill the monster. At the same time, he does not know whether he entered or exited the gate, but if June joins them, in the future they will earn even more money with his help than he offers him now. But then June asked what if he refused. Sam was shocked. June added that he did not want to sign the contract. Sam asked him not to refuse, and to think it over again. If he was not satisfied with the conditions, he could reconsider them. June said that this was his final decision, and he still had things to do. They were on the mountain, and they had to climb it. June was cursing at who ordered the delivery to the top of the mountain. Usually he appeared right in front of the customer, so why was he teleported to the foot of such a high mountain today? Lucy asked. June always answers any order. June said this time he just wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. Sam from Juan didn't expect that he would personally come to him, and also offer to join the guild. Of course, it was a very tempting offer, but people would immediately understand that he was not a hunter endowed with divine powers. What use is this guild to him if he gets billions for every delivery? Finally, they reached their destination. June continued to swear at the customer. Suddenly, rising, they saw a bunch of monsters. Lucy asked what kind of creatures they were. June replied that he himself did not know. It was strange, but this thing had a very familiar texture, thought June. He remembered that there were such monsters in the dungeon. June asked if these creatures also come from Greek myths. Lucy replied that she had never heard of such monsters. Suddenly the earth shook, and the monster that June had seen earlier appeared. But then a man came running and killed the monster with one blow, although he was not happy with this. A huge man approached June and said that he had heard about him from rumors. June asked if Lucy knew who he was. Lucy answered, how could she not know him? He who had completed all 12 tasks of the gods, the great hero of Olympus, who then ascended the throne and brought victory in the war of the gods with the Titans. The hero of all heroes, Hercules. The man replied that he felt a little awkward being reminded of his past exploits. June thought, so this man is the one who shot the poisoned arrow at Chiron. Hercules said that he heard June healed his teacher. June became worried. But then Hercules hit June on the shoulder and thanked him. The force was such that the suit almost broke. Anyway, Hercules introduced himself and said that he used to be a demigod, but became a constellation that protects Olympus. The guys also introduced themselves. Hercules said that he called him here for a reason. He wants June to find out something. This passage appeared because of the Titans. It was used by monsters trying to invade Olympus. And lately, monsters have been coming here through this hole often. It seems to him that someone from the outside is trying to invade here. June wondered if Coco might be related to the appearance of the gate in Busan. Hercules needs June to find out where all these creatures come from. Even if it costs him 200,000 points, it's worth abandoning the task, June thought. But seeing Hercules' muscles, he He changed his mind and bowed and accepted the task. Hercules said he liked his attitude, just like Hebe said. She tells him every time how sorry she is for underestimating him. June said that he can tell her that he is not offended. The route was plotted, but June noticed that the map told him to go to the cave. Hercules lifted June and said that he would launch him deep into the depths with his own hands at great speed. Dean ran up to Sam and asked if the guy had signed the contract. Sam said, "What contract is there? You can forget about it." He turned out to be a heartless person. Dean asked why he had done so much. Sam replied that it wasn't him. He suddenly received an order and left. Then Dean said that it was a common excuse, but Sam replied that it was not so. After all, he came to him with a delivery to the dungeon. He then received a message from Ares himself, because it was exactly the thing he asked for. Anyway, they will continue to look for new hunters for the guild. Then Sam asked how his assignment was going. This sacred relic, which Ares passed on through June, was his spare sword for a time. But since he no longer needed it, he put it up for auction. In addition, he needed money to pay for signing the contract. But since he could not persuade June, Dean said they had a buyer. Sam replied that meant they would go ahead with the original plan. Recently, there has been a problem of serial thefts in interguild trade. During the transportation of the inventory, particularly valuable items were stolen, and this sword cannot be bought for a couple of one. Then Sam remembered that June called himself a delivery man, and said that he had a great idea. June was falling at a tremendous speed, and in a few moments, he would already arrive at his destination. He thought that if he kept falling like this, he would just end up in a pancake and called for his motorcycle. June said that this motorcycle was worth the money. They survived only because of it. They went down and June asked if they should find out from these stones. Lucy answered that they needed to tell Hercules something. Just as June was cursing at Hercules, the earth suddenly shook, and Lucy and June became frightened. There may be a monster here that couldn't be seen from the top. But suddenly a voice was heard asking if they had just spoken about Hercules. June wondered what kind of giant this was. It was almost as tall as the mountain from the journey to the west. The giant asked how he was related to Hercules. June replied that he was not related to him in any way. He just asked to find out how the monsters got from here to the outside. Suddenly, the giant began to laugh and said that as soon as things started to smell bad, this little guy decided to look for him. He should be ashamed, June thought. Obviously, this giant could answer Hercules' question. June asked if the giant could tell him what he knew. But the giant asked why he would help this sucker. Then June asked Lucy why the skyscraper answered like that. Lucy asked if he really didn't know. His name is Atlas. He lost the war between the gods and the Titans, and as punishment, he was forced to hold the firmament on his shoulders. And the long-haired jock shouldn't have warned him about their feud. Why all the gods are such hopeless idiots. Atlas said that Nymph was right. Even though monsters end up in the outside world, it has nothing to do with him. June thought that if he couldn't convince the giant, he wouldn't be able to make the delivery, and heavenly punishment would await him. So he decided to change tactics, he asked sweetly. How could he refuse such a cutie like him? He doesn't ask to share information for free, he can fulfill any request. Atlas laughed and asked if he thought he would trust some matter to an ordinary person. June asked why not. Atlas said he was pretty brave for a human. In that case, let him bring him the golden apple. If he gets it, he will tell you what to do with the monsters. June thought, golden apple. Somehow it sounded familiar. But Lucy started screaming that it was impossible. Lucy said that the golden apple was a real treasure, but June shut her mouth. June asked if that would really be enough, Atlas answered. Of course, he swears by the honor of the Titans. Then June said, since he was making a promise, let him swear it on the river Styx like a man. Atlas laughed and swore by the river. Then June took out his phone. Entering the store, June bought a golden apple and showed it to Atlas. Hercules said that June and Lucy haven't returned yet. So why can't Atlas be persuaded that easily? It seems he forgot to warn them about something, Hercules said, as the edge of the earth lit up behind him. And turning around, I saw a motorcycle. But unfortunately, he was too close, and he got the full brunt of it from the motorcycle. June and Lucy immediately fell to the ground, begging for mercy, screaming that they hadn't hit him on purpose. Hercules replied that everything was fine. Something like that couldn't harm him. Be that as it may, apparently Atlas did not give them any information. He knew that the task would be too difficult. Apparently, he is still upset about those stolen golden apples. So many years have passed, and he is still sulking. Hercules said that since they failed the task, he would have to subject them to heavenly punishment. June said he got the information. Atlas told him everything when he gave it to him. Atlas asked how June was able to get it. June replied that he bought it in a store. And then Atlas said that he would tell him everything. Just let him give him the apple. but June demanded the information in advance. June told Atlas to tell him everything and ask why the monster started appearing. This is what Atlas said. He listened to him, but did not give him the apple and ran away. Ever since he heard that he had healed his mentor's leg, he knew that he was no ordinary person. This guy reminds him of himself in his youth. Hercules thought about June. Hercules asked, so Atlas said. June answered. He didn't seem to be asking a riddle, but he said something strange. The land divided into 7 branches, a place where blue flames burn in every corner. He said that monsters come from there. Hercules thought that the problem was getting more complicated. Looking at these monsters, he immediately realized that they were from another world. This man, who can move freely between the earth and the mythical world, is also accompanied by a nymph. The 3 goddesses of vengeance, the Erinyes, were very cruel. How could they put such a heavy job on such a small man? June extended his hand and said he had completed the task, so it was time to pay him. Later, Hermes appeared and Hercules asked how long he had been there. Hermes answered, since the moment those guys left. Let him better tell him how much longer he will speak to him respectfully. He hates ceremony. Hercules said that he didn't dare. After all, he had helped him complete tasks so many times. Hermes asked if he knew how difficult this made it to watch his relationship with his brothers, especially with Ares, to whom he didn't even respond. Hercules said that every time they meet he starts a fight because of the past. He will only treat him like a brother when he starts acting like that. Hermes asked, and he is still at odds with his grandfather Atlas. Hercules replied that after all this he would go down and make peace with him, and even if he did, he would not want to mend fences. Hermes asked, and what the grandfather told him was the very place they were both thinking about. The land divided into 7 branches, a place where blue flames burn in every corner. Hermes said they need to get ready too. He will report what happened today. Hercules said that Hermes was so busy that he could tell it himself, but Hermes replied that he would do everything himself. Who will deal with these creatures if he is not here, especially delivering news? That is his job. Hermes asked to say hello to his wife, and then flew away. And Hercules then began to fight the monsters. June woke Lucy up, shouting that they had to go, but Lucy was sleepy and asked for 5 more minutes. Then June said, no 5 minutes, it's time for them to go. Lucy asked where they were in such a hurry so early in the morning. What do you mean where? He said that today was the hunter's exam. And when he told her to wait at home, she protested. Lucy remembered and asked what he would do for the hunter exam. June asked. She herself asked to take her with her, but she herself did not know what to do there. Then June started to get ready. He said that he didn't want to just wear it, so he would leave it here. The guys arrived at their destination, and there were a lot of people there. The guy said that he was announcing the beginning of the hunter's ability test. June watched the others. He thought that even an ordinary person could cope with such monsters. So the point of this exam is not just to pass it, it's how they do it. All he can do is attack them with his suit, as June was called. First, he had to make it as inconspicuous as possible, thought June. The spectators praised the other hunter for his martial arts and asked if he was involved in sports. The fat man on the jury said that art alone would not be enough. He had been fighting for too long with only 3 goblins. The girl complained that there was so much noise from these old men. She also had something to say about their guilds. People started asking if it was Jill from the Black Dragon. She personally came to look for a hunter for the guild. Until recently, the Black Dragon was ranked 3rd in the country, but the guild lost most of its sponsors due to scandals. And now she has to look for new hunters herself, but so far she hasn't seen anyone worthy. It was June's time, Lucy supporting him from her place. It is important for him to pass the test, but if he is too conspicuous, he may start to irritate them. Therefore, he was going to concentrate his strength and pass the exams without difficulty. Compared to the sirens, these creatures attack much slower. I wonder if he can avoid their attacks without the suit. Jill thought this guy moved pretty well. She had seen that kind of dodging somewhere before. You have to hit them lightly so you don't kill them with one blow, June thought. But even with a light blow, June destroyed all the monsters with one blow. The girl congratulated June on passing to the next stage. The result was the 3rd in history. He didn't expect anything else. But was it really that easy to become a hunter? Lucy asked June to go to a cafe to eat. She said that she liked that cafe, not far from the area. While June and Lucy were discussing food, Jill approached them and introduced herself. June immediately remembered that this was the girl he met in the dungeon. She invited Jun to join her guild, but Jun just walked past and immediately replied that he didn't want to. Jill said that the guild was recruiting hunters to join its ranks. Jun replied that he was not planning to join any guilds right now. But Jill thought she had to have it at any cost and said she would pay 5 billion. June stopped, and Jill thought she had convinced him. But June replied that she was more greedy than he thought, that this amount was for him. Jill ran after him, shouting that no one would ever offer him that kind of money again. Then June said that the one guild offered him 20 billion. Already in the cafe, June saw the news, which talked about a mysterious newcomer. Lucy started saying she wanted to eat, but what she wanted wasn't available, so she chose another dish. Suddenly they were given a plate with 2 portions of fried meat. It was Sam. June asked if Sam had now taken a job as a waiter to pursue him. Sam suggested having lunch. Jun said that last time he said that he would not join the guild. Then Sam said that Jun was taking the hunter exam. Jun said that he still didn't want to join the guild. Sam said that this time he didn't come for that reason. He needed a courier. The day after tomorrow, one item is supposed to be delivered to Japan. Initially they were just going to send it by plane. But now an unknown thief is preventing them from doing this. He wants Jun to accompany the cargo to its destination. Jun said that's okay, he does the delivery, but how much will they pay him for his services? Sam replied that he didn't have to worry about money. They could pay him as much as he wanted. June asked for numbers. Sam said 20 billion, and June immediately bowed and accepted the order. While June was humiliating himself as best he could, Lucy was enjoying her delicious lunch. The girl said that she was ready for the task and was waiting for Hermes' order. June and Lucy came to the ship. Lucy was surprised by the amount of iron, as was June. He never thought that he would sail on a cargo ship, so this is not a delivery, but simply an escort of cargo. The guard said he had to check the ID. The guy had to prove his membership in the guild. June took out a map and said that he was sent here by the one guild, so they immediately allowed them to pass. Lucy said that not every god has such a ship, and if he does, of course, it must be big. They approached the door and June wondered if it was too obvious, as if they were asking a thief to steal what was inside. The doors opened and June said that now it was clear why they advertised it so much. They are guarding it at the highest level. Is there really a thief who can remove this sword? June asked if this sword was special. Lucy replied, a shining golden sword exuding divine power. It is the famous sword of Charlemagne. Then June said that she really knew everything in the world. Lucy replied that it was natural. She was a nymph after all. Then he sat down and told her not to sleep, in case some fool decided to rob the ship. 20 billion is a huge sum. If the sword is stolen, they may demand even more compensation from him. You need to concentrate and keep your eyes open. The ship sailed away and June relaxed a little. But suddenly that same girl appeared, put everyone to sleep, and said that she was going to her goal. Lucy woke up June and told him to wake up. June asked how he fell asleep. Then Lucy screamed. Fog appeared. He and everyone outside fell asleep. June quickly covered his nose. The sword, fortunately, was still in place. Then Jun used his suit. Due to the suit's power, he should be immune to certain substances. Opening the door, he saw the thief praying to God, asking him to allow her to be a worthy thief today, too. June thought she was crazy, and if he caught her, the delivery would go like clockwork. As soon as the girl began to act, she was tied up, but it was not an ordinary rope. June used a mythical rope woven from the threads of Arachne the Weaver, who defeated Athena in a dispute. The girl asked how he was able to withstand the divine gas, and where he got this rope. June said that for a thief she talks too much. The girl ordered to untie her. She is obliged to take something from here. Then June asked if she thought he was completely crazy, since she was a thief who came to steal someone else's property. She replied that she only steals what really needs to be stolen. After all, it is a good deed. The girl said that she is Robin Hood. She is the same as him. She takes things and gives them to those who really need them. The guys looked back and said that she really was crazy. Then the girl shouted that this was all to counter the impending threat. Lord Hermes said that the sword must be returned to its first owner. June asked if she was the messenger of the god Hermes. Suddenly she said that she was not given it for use in such a situation, but she will make him regret what he did today. Then there was a bright explosion. The power was great, a regular smoke grenade, just with very sad smoke. This girl is tied up with Arachne's rope, so she can't escape, but it turns out she did. The girl used the elixir of the astral body, which, when consumed, frees the soul from the physical body. Hermes is Hunter Stella. She managed to escape. The elixir's effects were slowly wearing off. She thought her plan almost failed when she encountered this strange guy on the way. Suddenly the Constellation, the cunning messenger, asked Stella if everything went according to plan. Stella replied that there was a problem, but she stole what he asked for, one of the items found in the King Arthur tale, and which belonged to the Lady of the Lake, who gave the king the sword Excalibur. Hermes asked about the problem. Stella replied that she was sure she had used the gas correctly, but one guy woke up. Then Hermes asked who this man was. Stella began to think about the answer. She said the guy was dressed in a superhero costume and had this weird magical rope that made it impossible to move. Hermes asked if there was a child with the man. Stella replied that there was a cute little girl with blue hair with him. And then it dawned on her how Hermes knew so much about this man. Was he really famous? Hermes laughed and asked her not to worry, as this was also part of his plan. Stella thought that if Hermes said so, then that guy was junior in rank, and she decided that during their next meeting, she, as the eldest, would teach him manners. June received money while he was on Olympus. The guy was happy. As the one guild feared, there was a commotion due to the appearance of a thief. But now there is no need to worry about the balance on the card. Lucy said that this means she can get even more candy. Lucy asked why they were going to Hephaestus. June replied, simply because he could meet him in person. June had already used almost all of the scales that Hydra had given him. They arrived, but even though the light was on, Hephaestus did not answer June, so they came without warning. Lucy suggested going to eat meat instead of waiting for him. June asked, since when her favorite dish was meat. Then Hephaestus came and said that they were just talking about him. What a coincidence. Next to Hephaestus was a luxurious woman. Her name was Freya. Freya is the chief goddess of the Scandinavian family of gods, leads the Valkyries, and taught Odin magic. Suddenly, June got angry and grabbed Hephaestus and started shouting that he was cheating on Aphrodite. Hephaestus replied that she was his client and wanted to order delivery from him. The girl laughed and said, as she had told her, he was very funny. June immediately apologized. June continued to apologize. Then Freya said that it was okay, but if Aphrodite were here, there would be trouble. Freya said she needed him to deliver a letter to Helheim. Lucy said this is the world of the dead, like Tartarus where he was. It is a very dangerous task. Before, he would have accepted an order without even thinking, but now he doesn't have to risk himself to deliver something. He has a good place to live and a lot of money. Even if he no longer works, he will be able to provide for both himself and Lucy. But of course greed won. June could not refuse 5 billion. Jun said maybe it's because this road leads to the afterlife. The atmosphere is creepy. Lucy said she told him so. Norse mythology is too ruthless. June told her not to be a coward. Why was she saying more and more depressing things day by day? Lucy said it was all because of him. Every time she was around him, she felt like her life was getting shorter. Valhalla is like a paradise where warriors who died on the battlefield go. Helheim is the afterlife where people go after dying of natural causes or illness. Since he had never heard of Helheim, it probably wasn't that dangerous there. There were 10 minutes left before leaving for Helheim. Yoon was calm. Suddenly, they felt a terrible fear that paralyzed them both. Suddenly, a voice was heard. Very strange things. The living are trying to cross the Helheim Bridge. It smells like life. He's not her man, this guy who was already dying. June became nervous and asked if she was talking about him. It was raining cats and dogs that day, and he knew better than anyone that it was dangerous to make deliveries in such weather. However, he kept receiving rent notices, and of course, this forced him to take up the work. Then he was suddenly hit by a car and June skidded across the road. He cursed at the driver. While he was collecting the delivery, a car pulled up to him, and he didn't even notice it. He was eventually shot down, and June died at the age of 27 while delivering food. Jun shouted, "Do we really think he would say that? He is still alive." The woman said he smelled of rot and decay. He wants to say she was wrong. Lucy said maybe it's because he was recently in Tartarus that he smells like that. Just as nymphs who live by a stream smell like a stream, nymphs who live by a river smell like rivers, leaves, and herbs. Tartarus and Helheim are from different myths, but the afterlife is the same everywhere. So she smells the smell of death. June himself didn't feel anything, but Hydra told him that he smelled like a spirit from hell. The woman said that she had heard of a man who met with Hades in Tartarus. In that case, he cannot help but know him, the one who guards this place and this bridge. Lucy said, an evil warrior, or one who is tired of fighting, the chief of the guard, guarding the bridge, Lady Maudgood. Maudgood asked why they needed to cross this bridge, Lucy said, at the request of Lady Freya. Hearing about the letter, Maudgood suddenly let them go easily and they left, which surprised Juna. Whatever the case, he was glad they were let through. He needed to leave quickly before she changed her mind. It looked like they were getting closer. Jun thought they would soon reach hell. It was unbearably cold. It was immediately clear that this was hell from Scandinavian mythology. The place looked like the North Pole. I should have warned him about the local climate right away. This Freya is a liar. Lucy said she read about it in textbooks. Unless you're a dead person who's already forgotten the feeling of cold. You have to be a giant to survive here. June asked why she was only talking about it now. Lucy said that she was just remembering it herself. Then June started looking around the store for something that could help. He found a down jacket, but the price was very high. This moped cost 100, and some cape cost 2. There is no choice. The points he earned with blood, crumpled, and tears. Lucy said that the jacket was so warm, June didn't expect that Lucy got a jacket too. This is because it can be done with effects, just like the invisibility helmet. It was a win-win. since he would still make money on the delivery. Even though the down jacket made the cold bearable, the wind prevented the moped from moving forward at all. So June decided to wait until the storm died down and hid under a large boulder. Lucy said they would be covered in snow. June replied. He would just warm up the phone and they would continue on their way. Vorsi would have been fine for now, when suddenly Lucy told him to come out and look at it. There was a naked man and wolves were chasing him. The man shouted that if they wanted to live, they should run away right now. Jun got on the moped and rode off, shouting for the strange guy not to run after them. The guy said that while he was running, there was no point in talking to him. He was already going through a tough time. Jun asked why, of all the possible directions, he was running in his direction. The strange guy said he was glad to see him. Since he came here, he had seen nothing but ice and wolves. Suddenly, the boys saw a hut. June and Lucy went in and locked the door behind them. And the strange guy somehow managed to jump over a 7-meter fence. The guy said that there was no wall in the world that he could not overcome. Be that as it may, he was late with his introductions because of their escape. He is a descendant of the greatest man in the world, the king of the gods Odin, a glorious warrior of the Volsung clan. His name is Sigurd. June, of course, knew nothing about him, but Lucy remembered him. He is the hero of the Volsunga saga, who killed the evil dragon, a dragon slayer himself. The guy said he wasn't such a hero to deserve such a performance. Sigurd suggested going into the hut. June said that they could not enter without even knowing who the owner was. Then Sigurd replied that there was a blizzard outside and they were surrounded by man-eating wolves. June said that if anything happened, he was responsible. Luckily, this place is not that far from their destination, so they can wait out the snowstorm here for a while. They came in. Sigurd asked what business they had here. They did not look like warriors. June said hesitantly that he had been asked to deliver something to someone who lived there. Sigurd thought it was strange, and June asked why Sigurd didn't kill those wolves. He was the dragon slayer. Then Sigurd replied, "This is a world where the dead live. Why fight with those who are already dead? Fighting them will only wear you out, and then they'll eat you alive, so it's better to just run away." So to whom and what should he deliver? Sigurd asked again. He is familiar with these places. He can guide them. June said that Freya actually asked him to deliver her letter personally. Sigurd said that in that case he should have told him about it right away. June asked how he could just trust the information to a guy in underwear. Suddenly those wolves came through the gate. Sigurd told them that he would deal with them, and that they should run out the back door. June asked if he could handle it alone. Sigurd took out his sword, which he had used to kill the dragon. With one swing of his sword, Sigurd killed all the man-eating wolves, which amazed June. But Sigurd was not so happy about this. All the pieces of the wolves gathered and united into a huge monster. This is what he was talking about when he said that it is impossible to die in this world. Sigurd told June that he would buy them some time and that they should run away. While Sigurd was wondering if the boys would be able to escape, June took out his club and hit the monster. In one blow, the Helsing wolves, now considered immortal animals, completely disappeared from the face of the earth. Sigurd said, "It's hard to believe, even Hel, the mistress of these lands, cannot control this territory." June thought that Sigurd wanted to say that he was endowed with such talent. Had he really shown talent? Lucy said that she understood everything. It was all thanks to Dubinka. It was mistletoe that long ago killed Balder, the second son of Odin, king of Asgard. And this artifact is so valuable that it is rarely found in myths. A mythical class weapon that can be used to destroy an immortal. And Durandal, which guarantees his safety, costs 20 billion. How much does this weapon cost? Capable of killing an immortal 10 or 100 times. Without even knowing it, he treats him like an idiot. June apologized to Ares. With this attitude, June decided to go to Hel. The guy ran after them. They arrived. The place was much bigger than June imagined. Lucy said that she was also seeing this place for the first time. Sigurd came running and said that it was too dangerous to go there alone. The poor guy had been running after them all this time. June said he could go with him. "What's the problem?" Sigurd asked. Does June think it's that easy to enter the tower? Suddenly, a crowd of warriors ran out and ordered the boys not to move, but Sigurd calmly greeted them. Sigurd said that these were the messengers of Lady Freya, who had come to deliver a message. June asked why they were so polite to him. Sigurd replied that he was their general. The boys entered what seemed to be a castle in the afterlife, but there was nothing special inside, June said. Suddenly, a beautiful girl approached them. Apparently, she served the mistress. She said that they told her everything. The guests brought a letter from Lady Freya. The girl asked them to follow her. June asked if she was also some kind of hero. Lucy replied that Ganglo was not a hero, but for a long time she was a servant of Lady Hel. Lucy asked how Lady Ganglo managed to poison herself next to the goddess for so many years, but received no answer. Sigurd said that he would only take them as far as here. Inside, June had to give the letter. When June met Hephaestus and the others, this was not the case. Perhaps because she is the goddess of death. He is nervous. The girl introduced June, Hel said. Strange art from him. Neither alive nor dead. The one who destroyed the balance. June said that he brought a letter. Hel took the letter. Child of the outside world. Is everything written here really true? Hel asked. June replied that he was just a courier. June asked why she was asking. Hel said he was unusually confident. Okay, if he's so curious, then she'll tell you that someone is supposedly dressing up as Helm's dead to get to Valhalla. This is the work of aliens. The people of Helheim have nothing to do with it. In the entire universe, there is only one place from which such a vile act could have been committed. To interfere with the cycle of life and death. A place where the earth is split into 7 parts, and everything around is burning with blue flames. They are guilty, Hel said. June thought. This little one is the one everyone is afraid of. Hel asked, did they leave? The girl answered. They opened the warp, so that they could immediately get to Olympus. Freya is such a bad girl. She came up with the idea of sending living people to Helheim. It is said that he visits various myths and carries out orders from the gods in exchange for points. In any case, they were convinced that they existed. She in person would go to the very epicenter of events. Hephaestus asked if June was sure of this. June and Lucy replied that they had heard everything correctly. Freya said the prophecy sounded so absurd that she thought it was just a figment of the imagination. June thought why everyone had such serious faces when he told Hercules about this. He also reacted. Freya said that unfortunately she had to go back. She would come for the goods later. It would be better if he didn't know about it. But since he already knew something, she had to tell it, she thought. Did no one notice that the situation had gone this far? Or did someone deliberately turn a blind eye to it? Then June touched her and said, she seems to have forgotten to pay him. Suddenly Freya became angry and asked how he, a mere mortal, dared to touch her body without her permission. It was incredible pressure. But he couldn't be left without money, thought June. So I asked for money. Freya said that she had completely forgotten about it and paid. Finally, his first million, if converted into cash, then it is more than 10 billion. Freya laughed at the reaction and left. Hephaestus said, June is either crazy or brave. Since time immemorial, it has been believed that a man should be incredibly brave. The main thing is not to slide into feeble-mindedness and courage. Jun asked what happened in the place where the earth is divided into 7 parts. Why is everyone so scared? Hercules had the same expression on his face, June said. Hephaestus suddenly fell silent. Then Hephaestus shouted, if this happened, why didn't he tell about it? He thought that sooner or later the meeting of the gods had to take place. In any case, it was to blame for everything. The meeting of the gods is literally a gathering of the 12 gods of Olympus, where they discuss heavenly plans. This is the first time they've met in 389 years, and he's beginning to understand why. Hephaestus told June to forget about it. It wasn't a pleasant story. The very fact that he knew about it could cause problems. The gods are primarily responsible for this. He will know about everything when the time comes. In the end, he will face this himself without wanting to. Of course, it would be better if this did not happen. June and Lucy finally moved in. Lucy said that ditch was nothing compared to this place. Now that there are no belongings from the previous tenants left here, he feels like this is his home. If he knew this was going to happen, he probably should have stopped by the furniture store that time on his way to the hunter exam. Lucy wanted a bigger room, but June said that the biggest room should be his. Either way, this room will be his. So she needs to put her foot down, and now she needs to buy furniture. The guys had barely left when the doorbell rang. June had just moved in, so he wasn't expecting guests. But he still opened the door. It was Irene. She brought a strange cake. June asked why she came here. Lucy said that they saw her when they delivered the sword. Apparently she is their neighbor. He has been so busy lately that he completely forgot about her. Irene gave June a cake and June asked what it was. Irene said it was a housewarming present. June said he didn't even throw a housewarming party. Didn't invite anyone. Would they throw one right on the day of moving? While June was wondering why the cake was green, Lucy grabbed it and ran away with it. But after trying it, she almost threw up and asked what that disgusting taste was. Irene came up and said it was mint with chocolate. It was delicious. June asked why she had dropped by his house. Irene replied, an investigation assignment. Sam asked her to ask him about it. He promised to pay any price. For details, you need to contact the guild. June replied that his services were expensive. Irene showed 2 fingers, but June was not happy. Then Irene showed 4 fingers, and that certainly convinced the guy. The guys arrived at the guild. Lucy said that June said that they were buying furniture today. June replied that the furniture wouldn't run away anywhere. Lucy was hungry, so June said how many more times would they have the chance to make 4 billion. Irene took out a card and said, "This is a coupon for the cafeteria. You can eat there after the meeting." Lucy said she thought the girl was stupid for eating mouthwash, but she was so nice. They walked in and Sam greeted them. He said he heard June moved in today. Jun asked to get down to business, since he had a child with him who was asking to hurry up. They sat down, and June thought that if he was smiling so widely, he was about to be given a very difficult task. Sam said he probably remembers that boss from the dungeon, and like that monster, the difficulty of the others has increased. If nothing is done, the dungeon may break through, and if that happens, the monsters will enter their world. This could jeopardize the very existence of the country, and the further consequences are hard to imagine. Jun said that he himself understands that the situation is terrible, but they are asking him to find out the reason. Sam said he wanted to give him a very easy task and suggested moving on to the next point. All he has to do is go to the dungeon specified in the contract and simply explore the monster. The Red Dragon is a level 7 monster, the highest level in the Republic of Korea. Jun asked why the #1 guild in the country would entrust such a task to a mere delivery man. Sam said they would take care of the landscaping and other little things, and he would just take care of the Red Dragon and the Lizard King, the monster that is next to the dragon. Jun didn't like it. He grabbed Sam and said he wouldn't do such a dangerous job for 4 billion. Sam said it was just an advance. After completing the task, he would pay him twice as much, and Jun of course agreed. The old man asked why he was late. The boy replied that something happened on the way back. He caught it down there, and now they're starting to show up in Northern Europe too. It happened faster than they expected. He had known for a long time that the end was coming, but he didn't think it would come so quickly. Lord Odin said that there was a problem in Valhalla, and he asked to go to Helheim once. In that case, he doesn't need to worry so much. He heard that Freya was helped by a hero from the Greek gods. The boy asked if it was Orpheus or Achilles. The old man replied, no, from what he was told, an ordinary man, like the boy. Suddenly, the guy thought that this meant that another person was also delivering something to the gods. How dare he encroach on his territory? Now the guy wanted to see what kind of impudent fellow he was. Province, Southern Gate, June said. He promised that he would not take a step in this direction. And here he is. Lucy asked if he had been in this dungeon, and June replied, no. But he had lived in a place worse than this. June summoned his motorcycle, just in case he asked Hephaestus for a favor. He could not even imagine that he would receive such incredible abilities. And although the scooter's durability has increased, I wouldn't want to risk exposing myself to danger due to effects like I did with Modgood. Jun was delighted with the new capabilities of his motorcycle. Even in the swamp, the wheels did not get stuck. Suddenly, they arrived at a huge, beautiful palace. Lucy asked if he lived in such a hole. June answered, no, of course. The report said that he could meet the lizard man by going through this gate. Jun quickly used his invisibility helmet and hid with Lucy. Lucy asked, so what will they do? As usual, they will destroy everyone. Jun thought, he wasn't tasked with destroying monsters, only studying them. This means he doesn't have to take the risk and go for the head-on like he did last time. They will simply observe the king of the lizardmen and complete the first part of the task. Luckily, they didn't notice the guys thanks to the invisibility skill. Jun hoped that he would be able to reach the place where the main monster was without any problems. And he can still buy things in the store. He can also flex, since he will be paid 8 billion for this task. Suddenly, Juna received an order, and unfortunately, when the notification turned on, the helmet effect disappeared, and the guys saw it. The lizards ran after them, but Jun stopped abruptly, and at the moment when the lizard wanted to attack, June showed the phone. This order was sent by their boss. The king ordered the delivery. It's strange, of course, that the order came from a monster, but what difference does it make? June said there was no time, so let them take him to their king as soon as possible. The lizards pointed their fingers at Jun to make him turn around, and June turned around in fear to see this old man. This is not at all like the incredible description that was in the report. It's even somehow embarrassing. Jun didn't know how to communicate with him and thought maybe he should look into the store. But then Lucy said that she could translate. Lucy had learned their language long ago. Long ago, a disaster befell the kingdom, and every single one of the cubs, youth, and old people were exterminated by a cruel invader. Jun asked if they wanted June to somehow deal with him. Suddenly all the lizards became cuties. But June said that he couldn't do it. He wasn't that good. Lucy translated that they were ready to give him all the treasures of the kingdom if he completed the task. And Jun, of course, immediately agreed and said that they could rely on him. And at this time, Stella was in the treasury and was thinking about what to steal. There were 10 seconds left before the meeting of the thief, Hermes, and the knight Hermes. They came to the treasury, and June said that judging by the size of the door, there should be a lot of treasure there. The Lizard King opened the doors and June said that there was as much wealth here as Ares. The lizard admitted that they were taken from the people who came here. June asked if he was proud of this or something. When he heard the noise, the guys met again. Stella was immediately captured. She thought about what to do. She doesn't know why exactly, but she was told to take the treasures. Then Stella turned to Jun and said that the younger one remembers her. If he came here on Hermes' orders, let him explain to them why she is here. The king asked if this thief was his colleague. June immediately answered no. June asked, "She says that Hermes sent her. Does she really think that he will fall for it?" Stella said if he helps here, she will do whatever he asks. Then June told her to first swear on the river Styx. If she did this, he would help. Either they'll kill her here or she'll rot alive in their dungeon, June threatened. Then Stella said that if he saved her from them, she swears by the river Styx that she will definitely repay the younger one. June decided that this was enough and asked Lucy to translate everything. Then she was released. Stella stood up and asked what she wanted. The little pervert. June shouted what she had imagined there. Suddenly, Jun received a notification about an order. He was given only 3 hours to kill the dragon. Then June told Lucy to hurry up. Lucy asked if he wanted to look at the reward, but June had already run away. There are 30 kilometers to the destination. He will drive at full speed, so he will get there without any problems. But there on the spot, will he be able to defeat a monster about which nothing is known in the remaining time? Jun was driving at full speed when suddenly Stella appeared in front of him. Then June stopped and said let him take what he needed and leave. Stella said that he saved her, so she would help him. June said he wasn't going to let her go for long, so let her go. Then Stella told him that the monster they were going to kill was actually a red dragon. If this is the same dragon that Sam asked her to study, it is a monster of the highest level. That's why he sent him to study the lizard people and the red dragon, Jun thought. Stella thought that she really didn't want to run into such a creature. But she will only receive the treasures of the lizard people if she wins their trust by completing the task. Stella said she knew a shortcut. June asked how she could help if all she knew was stealing. Then Stella said that the younger one only sees the tip of the iceberg. Thieves have their own tricks. They arrived. The dragon was sleeping and snoring loudly. June said they would have to attack. He put on a motorcycle suit, power mode. Jun did a super jump and hit the dragon. The dragon woke up and Jun began to fight this powerful monster. Stella asked how he was even able to attack this monster. Since Hermes chose her, she has overcome more challenges than other hunters could ever dream of. But what she sees now is simply beyond comprehension. The association has assigned this dragon the 7th level of difficulty. In all the dungeons and gates that people have managed to clear so far, the appearance of such monsters can be counted on the fingers of one hand. And if he is the same messenger of Hermes as she is, then he definitely could not have become so strong so quickly. Nowadays, to get to that level, you have to work as a hunter for at least 15 years. And even if you look at them from a mythological perspective, they all have more than one divine patron. But this guy in front of her hasn't worked for even a year, and he's already on the same level as her, or even surpasses her. And there is something strange about this red dragon. Despite the fact that the younger one is in front of him, the monster seems not to see him. Only then did Stella realize that it was an invisibility helmet. The dragon didn't know where it was, so he decided to destroy everything around it. June decided to hit him again and hit the dragon with all his might, causing a huge hole to appear from this blow. But just when June decided that the dragon was dead, he opened his eyes and the suit would soon lose its powers. June won't last a minute without the suit. All he has to do is figure it out in that time. But even when Jun tried to hit the monster with a club, he couldn't do it because the invisibility doesn't apply to it. Stella asked why he was stuck in one place. Then she decided to help. But Lucy called her a silly girl. Instead of ruining everything, she should just stand aside and watch. With June, everything will be fine. There is no need to worry. He has found himself in difficult situations many times, but he always copes. And in the end, he received recognition from many gods and heroes, so he will never lose to this monster. Stella said that this attack wasn't that strong at all. She knows he's strong, but if he just keeps standing there. Then Stella noticed that Lucy was shaking and decided to remain silent. Stella was worried and saw that June had grabbed the dragon, but she didn't understand why. Jun had no time left. Suddenly Jun noticed something. He noticed a strange scale. Lucy shouted for him to attack that place. Then Jun took out the magazine. Jun asked Lucy if this monster is considered a dragon. Lucy shouted that she herself did not know, since she had never studied such details. But it seemed to be a type of dinosaur-like dragon, so he can be considered a dragon. Then June bought a magic sword. This sword will be enough to hit the dragon in its weak spot. Unexpectedly for everyone, the dragon burst into flames completely, so that June could not sneak up on it. Lucy shouted at Jun that it was too dangerous, but then Stella ran forward, saying that he couldn't win alone. "We need to join forces." June told her it was dangerous here. Stella replied that thieves have their own ways. She threw the bottle at the dragon, and in an instant it was completely covered in ice. June said that with this potion she could defeat him right away. Stella replied that she was waiting for the second phase. But then Lucy screamed that they had relaxed too early, and the ice began to melt. Stella said that Demeter's ice cannot be simply destroyed. June replied that the potion can freeze anything, but ice can be broken. The dragon went mad with anger and began to breathe fire. June had 20 seconds left. Stella said she would think of something, and in the meantime he had to distract him. Then she threw another potion at him. The dragon was tied up. Jun took advantage of this moment and cut the dragon into 2 parts. Dean talked to Sam. He said after his research they found out that the place was not dangerous. Sam replied, "Dean did a great job this time too. Maybe he should leave early today." Dean asked if this rumor was true, the bomb that the association had slipped them. Sam replied that if he was talking about the dungeon of the lizard people, then he would soon go crazy because of it. Everything was fine until he was contacted and informed that the task was completed. Jun said that he seemed to have accidentally killed the red dragon, and he would be paid for it. Sam thought Jun was joking, but after the guild members went to check, they confirmed that it was true. He couldn't even imagine that this monster could be defeated, how he would report this to the association. He is, of course, glad that he was able to kill the monster that could cause a disaster in the future. One of the conditions was to keep Jun's identity a secret, but the association would definitely begin to suspect that they had entrusted the killing of the monster to an outsider. Dean said, "First those giants, now the red dragon, should everyone else be downgraded?" Sam suggested, starting with Dean. While Dean was panicking, Sam was thinking that anyway, since the dragon had been defeated, the research into the lizard people was still ongoing. Jun returned to the mansion, and all the lizard people ran up to him and bowed in gratitude. Then Jun told the king that it was okay. He was the king. There was no need to do this to him. And by the way, when he gave him the promised reward, the king ordered and the lizard brought the reward. It was a purse. The king asked if he liked the gift. Jun pounced and asked, "He made him go through all this for me." Lucy explained that this is not an ordinary wallet. It can hold large and heavy things. The next day, in the morning, Sam called him and said that the gate that had appeared recently had disappeared. Perhaps the gate was a salvation for the lizard people from the destruction of their kingdom. And now that peace has returned there, they have no reason to move, especially if there is a way to get rid of the monsters without killing them. If only all the problems on Earth could be resolved peacefully. The very thought of it makes my head split. Stella congratulated Jun on his award. Jun asked how she was doing. She had to spend her potions. Then Stella replied that she never works at a loss. Taking off, she said, "Yesterday and today it was fun with him. Thanks to him, she was able to get what she needed." Lucy said she really can't keep her hands to herself. Then Lucy asked if they were going home. Jun replied that they would go for money first. At home, Jun received money and a message that after processing the dragon's body, they would transfer the proceeds to him. He had been going into the dungeon without a hunter's license all this time, and now he found out that he could get extra money for the bodies of monsters. Now he can't just walk past the monsters. Jun cooked chicken and called Lucy. Lucy was immediately delighted, Jun said, as if she had never eaten chicken before. The chicken was hot, but that didn't stop Lucy. She ate it like it was the first time. They say that expensive chicken is delicious even when cold, and when reheated it tastes the same as yesterday. Until recently, he could only afford 2 servings of chicken because he didn't have enough money. He couldn't believe that he was now buying chicken for 30,000 won. Money is good. Suddenly, Jun received a notification. A new order. Before, he would have immediately stopped eating and gone to work, fearing the loss of the order. Now that he has 10 billion won in his account, missing a couple of orders won't make a difference. There was unrest on Olympus. The man said that the ruler needed to escape from here before the monster broke inside. The ruler asked where the heroes were. The man replied that he had sent them to everyone he could, but they would not arrive here earlier than in 3 days. Suddenly there was an explosion, and a huge minotaur entered the building. Jun finally came to Hephaestus, but no one was there anymore. Lucy said maybe they left because they were late. Jun said that she ate too much. Judging by how many times the delivery request has been sent, it is urgent. Suddenly, Hephaestus came, and he was gloomy, and asked if Jun had come after all. Why was there such bad energy coming from him today? Jun wondered. Hephaestus said that the matter was urgent. It was better to discuss the details of the matter inside. Once inside, Hephaestus said that he didn't even know where to start. Jun asked where all the tension came from. He will do whatever he says. Until now, he had only been excited when he met Myron, and even then he hadn't shown it. Hephaestus asked June if she remembered what they had talked about with Freya. June asked about what he had advised him to forget. They obviously said something about splitting the earth, but they themselves told him to forget about it. Hephaestus said he would like to deal with this problem only with the powers of the gods, but the situation is too serious. Apparently, they had reached the point where they were powerless. The meeting was the result of a gathering of 12 gods who had gathered to discuss the recent problem with the emerging tentacles. They took root not only in the world of the gods of Greece and Scandinavia, but also in the world of people. Even the gods can no longer do anything about what has already grown into the earth. A deity should not interfere in earthly affairs over trifles. Fortunately, they cannot move on their own. At best, the seeds that have already been sown will simply sprout, June said. But what he is saying now is who they are and what kind of seeds, Hephaestus answered. But suddenly the guys seemed to freeze for a moment and did not hear anything. Then Hephaestus realized that they were not supposed to know, so they did not hear. Apparently, in the past, the gods joined forces to seal away the knowledge of their very existence, and now even revealing their name is forbidden. Be that as it may, there is no need to rush to find out all the details. What he asks him for may be somehow connected with them. In fact, today offerings were supposed to arrive from Crete, but they still haven't received anything. Luckily, they definitely couldn't forget about it because of the meeting with their uncle. But if he found out about it, he would be very angry. Jun said it didn't seem like it was that big of a problem. Maybe the offerings were delayed for some reason. Lucy said that in other places you can turn a blind eye to such things, but not when it comes to the Minotaur. The story of a queen who encroached on Poseidon's offering, which made him very angry. This is a story about a terrible labyrinth. Once you enter it, you will never get out. Jun was driving on the sea, but then a notification came. June remembered that driving on the sea with a helmet has a time limit. They finally found a place to stay, June said. June said he thought they were going to drown. Lucy said he never prepared properly. Then June opened a store, since he can't swim, but he wasn't happy with the prices. That's why he said he knew this would happen, so he took it with him. Even though he put everything he needed in it, it still has a lot of space. It was clearly worth the effort he had put into bringing down the red dragon. Suddenly a crowd of warriors came running to June, and they said that June had invaded their lands. But then a guy came up and asked Jun if he could tell him more about himself. He just wants to know who their guests are, said the guy. Lucy called him Theseus. This is the legendary hero who defeated the Minotaur and escaped from his labyrinth. He was the king of Athens who accomplished many feats, and therefore earned great respect among the gods and people. Theseus said that judging by his strange outfit, he was the same delivery man of the gods. June asked if he knew about him, and the guy answered, of course, June is dressed in such an interesting outfit. He is the budding hero that the captain was talking about. The captain, the one who ordered to kill the sirens, although June almost died. Thanks to this task, he received a lot of money. Jun asked why they called him a budding hero. Theseus asked if he didn't know about his reputation. He exterminated the sirens in their lair, and even defeated the Hydra to heal Chiron's leg, and even made it to Helheim. June is already famous. There is no one who has not heard of his achievements. Lucy asked what they said about her, but Theseus said that he knew almost nothing about Lucy. Theseus said, June is going to go to Crete. Then he should read this. June asked Lucy what it said. Lucy replied that it was a warning that the monster from the labyrinth had been reborn. Then June asked if Theseus had not defeated the Minotaur. Theseus replied that he had not killed him, but had locked him up. And he doesn't know why, but it seems the Minotaur has been released. So tomorrow morning, he's going to catch him again. June hoped that at least this time he would not have to fight. But as always, everything did not go according to plan. June agreed to go with Theseus. In the morning, June woke Lucy up and said that the boat would be arriving soon, so stop sleeping. The captain decides when they will sail. June told Lucy to wash up and get ready. June asked if Theseus had managed to find them worthy companions. Theseus said at night that the boat would sail at dawn, and he would try to assemble a crew. June asked if Theseus had not run away from the Minotaur in the past. Theseus replied that the princess of Crete had helped him. His appearance is a heavenly punishment for trying to deceive the gods, a disgrace to the royal family of the island of Crete, the fruit of a forbidden relationship. So vicious and disgusting that it is difficult to even talk about it. According to legend, the monster should be dead. In fact, that is why he is in such a hurry to start the journey. If it were possible, he would like to kill him with his own hands. June said that meant there was no need to assemble a team, but Theseus replied that he thought so too, and then heard it from the messenger of Hercules. Perhaps it has something to do with what Hephaestus was trying to tell him. Jun said how tired he was of fighting monsters. Without knowing it, he signed up for some nonsense. The boys arrived and Theseus said that they would soon be sailing, so they had better get on board. Jun was surprised by the size of the ship. This vessel looks like the ship from One Piece. Suddenly, Jun heard a squeaky voice, and he thought it belonged to a nymph. And he was right. A nymph appeared and asked who the nymph from the ditch was with her master, who were surprised because of such a boat. Lucy ran to hug him, but the boy wasn't thrilled about it. Apart from Lucy, Juna sees a nymph for the first time. He said that Lucy said that she was tall for a nymph. It turns out that this is a lie. Suddenly, Theseus said in an unusually angry voice, he ordered the nymph to take the guests to their cabin. June supported the boy by saying that everything was fine. Theseus apologized and again asked them to go to the cabin. Lubor led them to the cabin, and the boys were delighted with the beautiful room. The boy thanked Jun for helping him. June said that Lucy's friend was like a younger brother to him. This did not suit Lucy, and they started arguing. Lubor said that Lucy had met a wonderful hero. June asked what was wrong with him. Maybe Theseus was treating him badly. Lucy said that Theseus was kind to everyone. In general, they are nymphs, just helpers, so June is unusual for everyone. The gods and heroes he met treated the nymph as an object. Greek myths come from a time when slavery was the norm, something that is difficult for modern people to understand. They arrived on the island of Crete, but it was destroyed. People died a terrible death here, Theseus said. The Minotaur did all this. They must find survivors as soon as possible. Ubor pointed to the hole back. The Temple of Poseidon seems to have decided not to touch it. If the Minotaur had destroyed the temple, it would not have ended with a simple punishment. The bloody trail ends in front of these doors, Theseus thought, and opened them. Theseus breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that there were survivors hiding there. But there were too few of them here, and the king was not there. Then a man ran up to Theseus. He said that the monster grabbed the king and dragged him into a terrible labyrinth from which there was no escape.
The protagonist, with blurred vision, looks down and says that everything there was red. With a blade in his chest and labored breathing, he mentions that all that remained in that place was death. As he questions why so much blood was necessary, he looks back and sees one of his comrades dead. Both his brother Jaemon, his friends, and the disciples. All of them were now dead in that place. The alliance of 20 sects, made up of the most powerful people, had been created for the final battle against Tiamat. However, the result of it all was the annihilation of both sides. And the reason for all this was the man sitting atop the pile of bodies, the demon who descended from the heavens and bathed the land in blood, the leader of the demonic cult known as Tiamat. Tiamat calls out to the disciple of the Mount Hua sect and says it's a pity he finds himself in this situation. The protagonist stares at him and begins to rise, spitting blood as Tiamat remarks that even though he survived this battle, the life of glory and fame he had hoped for after this would not be possible. After all, it was clear to both of them that their day had come. The protagonist tells him to shut up. However, from atop the pile of bodies, Tiamat extends
I've got 1 million villagers and they're gonna simulate parkour civilization. Bet, y'all ready? Yes, sir, then make your first jump. Bruh. Alright guys, let's have a look at the cribs we're gonna be living in. Just gotta make sure I hit this jump and let's go, baby. Yo, this crib is nice. Me and Jamal gonna get lit in here. We in the trap, let's get lit. Wait, hold up, who's that?
I'm a parkour pro and I'm here to give you your food. You can take a risk and go for the raw beef, or you can play it safe and get the raw chicken. You choose.
Bro, no way, you making this parkour for the food? Say less though, I'm hungry.
Good job, ref. You got the chicken.
I bet Jamal, you're up next. Yes, sir, of course you went for the chicken. Let's get lit. Alright, bro, what you gonna pick? You gonna play it safe or you gonna risk your life for the beef? Don't do it. Oh! Okay, bro, you're up next. Don't make the same mistake as the last guy did. Wait, why are you looking at the beef like that? Don't do it. Well, at least you got the beef. Jamal, man, I can't live like this. I'm tired of being a noob. We gotta level up to the next parkour level. All right, everyone. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of being a parkour noob. We gotta figure out a way to get out of here.
Ref, I know a way we can escape.
For real? What we gotta do, bro?
You just have to shut up and follow me.
I can't believe I just let a villager talk to me like that, but I bet. Yes, sir. We on the move. Yo, what is this place? Let's go, hurry up, guys. Hold up, why can't we go through? Key required? Bro, how are we supposed to get a key?
Ref, the only way to get the key is to complete that parkour course over there.
Wait, what? Say less, bro, I got this. Let's go, Jamal. Let's get lit. We here. Alright, you two, go get the key, now. Okay, first jump. Let's go, bro, you can do... Alright, Jamal, you're last. Be careful. I don't want you to fall, my sweet, sweet Pookie Bear. Almost there. Yes, sir. Let's get lit. Jamal got the key. Jamal's also got the key to my heart, Zaddy. Alright, Jamal, put the key in. Yes, sir. Is it open? Let's get lit. Come on, guys, let's go. Whoa, Jamal, I think we gotta make it to the top. This parkour looks tough.
It's a Sunday, January 21st, 2018. A 44-second video is uploaded to the Minecraft forum with the caption,
"Found a way back again."
Despite the wording, Vale2_ had never posted before, but their only other comment gave people the first clue to their disappearance, the most insane unsolved mystery in Minecraft.
Left under the red arch.
Where is Vale2_? Vale starts the recording. Bedrock in every direction, and judging by their inventory, this is not a new sight for them. Even though we only get a tiny glimpse of things outside, we've already seen so much that can help contextualize things. So immediately, a big question arises. Where is the Red Arch? Commenters begin to speculate. Dragoon asks what the Red Arch is and that it's not even there. Ninja Pope asks, anyone see that thing around the corner? To which Ordisi answers, it's a chest. Acker asks for an interview. On a whim, I took a page out of Acker's book and sent them a friend request and message on Discord. They were offline, but there was the slightest chance I could get some answers from them. In the meantime, though, Google was the key. Nothing popped up on images, save for a few different Bedrock escape rooms, some random help requests, and lots of generally unrelated things. Until one picture caught my eye. Wait, no way. You see that too, right? It's like a stronghold. So just to really confirm my theory, I found all the structure pieces of a stronghold and cross-referenced them with the original video. Yeah, that's like half a library. I think these chains right here are this room right here. There's just tons of libraries, really, look at that. So the issue that's got me stumped, one of the rooms just doesn't exist in a stronghold. This L-shaped room. Huh. Who put that there? But then I got sent a message that changed everything. So what does Acker mean?
I don't know, actually. I came up with Acker on... I don't think I remember. It's just always been that way.
Okay, that's all good. I was just gonna use that as like an introduction. Okay, where did Vale2_ go?
You're gonna ask that.
Yeah?
That's just wrong.
Okay, so I went into the interview with a couple questions ready, but this was like really weird to me. Acker, who knows more than anyone about what happened, is just shooting me down. So I changed gears. Okay, what do you remember?
That's it? You're not asking the right questions.
Well, what should I be asking? Is that not the obvious question? Like, what do you... Oh, he left the call. Great. What? IP address? Okay. Vale server was normal. Just a bit old. The place looked like one of those buildings you would make in the first version of Minecraft PE. Like when you only had bricks, glass, and like wood. It must have been 10 years old. And yet it was still online. I checked out all the bases, but the only one that had a sign said it was Wraths, so no lead there. But there were tons of structures to check out. One pyramid had bedrock on top, there were some super inefficient stairs, there was this structure. Even weirder was this castle that had the brightest bedroom I've ever seen. Overall, 10 out of 10 server, very sketchy. I just love the monument to Greed sitting right next to spawn. Is that all gold? Holy. But when a skeleton killed me and I couldn't find anything, I came up with a better plan. I should find the stronghold. 1.12 makes the whole beating the game process a little harder, but with some resources from around the server and an hour or two of free time, so let's consider this real quick. The Minecraft world is a blank canvas of broken rules, and yet strongholds simply don't spawn under spawn. That was the final nail. There was something useful down there. I started by once again cross-referencing the room pieces by memory to see if any of them were out of shape, like that L-shaped one, or if I could find a similar area to Vale's video before they walked into that room. None of them were shaped like it. None of them were out of place, except one room at the bottom of some stairs. That is definitely not in a normal stronghold. What the hell? What the hell? Huh. Upon opening the world, my guess was something in this Bedrock Stronghold thing would be able to lead me to Vale's whereabouts, or give me some clue to know if he's okay. With an empty inventory, I ventured out a little bit. Okay, the height of this room would definitely pop above the surface by now. Despite some reservations and, the fact that Vale went missing because of this place, I knew I just had to find that L-shaped room. Okay, it definitely looks like a stronghold. Just a little more cramped, because there's not exactly a way out. What the fuck? What the That's not there. There's no way that's there. I put those chairs there in a single player world. Who is f***ing with me right now? It was hard to grasp how this happens. Like, even if it's just as simple as placing blocks, how are those blocks getting placed in a single player world, and why do they match my single player world? I wanted to see if I could just break a path around this room, but cheats weren't enabled. I tried to open the server to LAN, but it would immediately swap me back to survival every time I tried to do game mode creative. I just watched more of the video. I had missed something. Right back at the start of the world, by the ceiling were slits. Small windows to peer outside, but with no blocks I couldn't hope to see out of it yet. Yeah, no, I could jump that, yeah. Until I remembered that someone in the comments noticed a very important detail. Or DC9 saw the tiniest fraction of a chest. They were scattered all throughout the map. I just hadn't seen one yet. I set out into the rooms and halls, and with the help of my trusty notepad to jot down the way back since torches were hard to come by, I found one. Oh, let's go! Huh, it might be the Stronghold loot table too. Damn, this place is getting weird. Those are my interview stairs. That was the final nail. Seeing my own build that I made last month on this 5-year-old world save was, I shifted my plan. If this world was like changing and bending my things, what happened when Vale was here? Was this cacophony of bedrock cubes just some rendition of Vale's experience? Did their stronghold turn into this web? The new plan, with an ender pearl from the stronghold loot table, I could just shoot it out of the window and get outside to see what this place did to my stairs. And if I could take advantage of it. I hadn't gotten lucky on the chest rolls yet, but somewhere in here, there'd have to be a few. And with them, I'd be just a tiny bit closer to finding the Red Arch. Huh, why is that door open? Do they like naturally spawn like that? Oh no. I don't know if I have enough blocks. Oh wait, hold on. That's doable. That's doable. Okay, please. No way. I think I need to die. Because then I can go find a tool and then use my notepad to find the exact place again. That's how I get out. This place is not trapping me that easily. I did not expect to be doing that. I'm gonna be real. So what, is this place like actively antagonizing me? And I can't even find it. Are you actually kidding me? There's no way it was just sitting right there. Oh my god. Hey, look, there's gonna be one over here too. Okay, maybe not that, but... I think I'm just gonna go back there and drown myself. Okay, whatever. Now I can, like, actually use the notepad and find my way back. Even though I had used the notepad for an unintended purpose, the intended purpose was to read it backwards and work my way to the library tower from there. It was on this backwards journey that I really started to wonder and worry about certain things. That door into the stair trap, why was that open? In fact, some of the doors in general, even back on Vale's SMP, they were halved. That's not just a coincidence. Was this a message? A footpath on the bedrock for me to sniff out? To be fair, I'm guessing you couldn't leave footprints on bedrock, but you get what I mean. I wonder what the right questions even are. What did that guy mean? Alright, a few more turns, then we should be golden. What? That should be the door. That's the exact way back. What? Somehow I just knew this would happen. I was lost with no way back to the window. Wrong. There was still a trick up my sleeve that this place couldn't steal, and all it took was one button. I had gotten video footage of the library's coordinates. It was about a 200 block trek to find Z, and from there I could spin a left and go find X marks the spot, you know? Oh. Yeah, I'm not the best at this jumping thing. I guess that's kind of an easy way to get to the X. Whatever was going on here, I could only take this as a sign that I was making progress. The closer I got to this answer, this red arch, the closer this hellscape got to trapping me. But I've got more resilience than I can handle, and for me, this was a sign to never stop. Well, that's not exactly where I wanted to land, but I can get there from here. Plus that andesite is much more useful than bedrock. What the hell was that? I don't even want to know. Okay, I want to go check that door that the sign was in. It was 7 from the right and 4 from the bottom, if I remember right. Or if I remember left. Left under the red arch. Wait, that's an archway. And that's where I'm spawning each time. I just need to go back, get inside, and go left, I guess. But I am not going near that water. Wait. Something's breaking my bridge. Not gonna make it. Holy hell. Vale is gonna have to pay me good for finding him. This is not worth it. And now I don't even trust stairs. Uh-oh. You know, that's one way back. I can just use this place against itself. Oh! Huh. Okay, it's just a minor setback. That arch hasn't moved, and it isn't going anywhere. I've found my way back before. I can do that again. I guess I just have to keep an eye out for mobs now, though. But hey, I'm resourceful. Just follow the coordinates, get back, and go left under the red arch. Left under the red arch. Left under the red arch. There's no way. 1 obsidian, 1 block, 2 TNT, 2 pistons, a lever, a trapdoor, a bedrock breaker to get under. Now, getting those is a bit of an interesting challenge. Blocks are easy, and obsidian is possible to make here. The fountain rooms have cobblestone, but I have andesite too. Hell, I can even use cobblestone for a lever. Pistons take iron, redstone, cobble, and wood, which I can get from libraries. Turn those into sticks for a lever, and grab a trapdoor. But the issue, TNT. More specifically, sand. That doesn't naturally spawn anywhere in here, and without it, I'm down... Actually, wait a second. That might just be sand. I'm, definitely gonna save that for last, though. The creepers were the easy part, so I just had to get enough wood to... There's never been any wood. Wait, hold on. I get thrown back into survival when I try to do /game mode creative, but what happens if I just /give myself wood? Yo, nice. my god, wait, this is perfect. Jeez, okay. Well, I'm not swimming. Oh! Oh, weird. This is just left from the door. Okay. Only 2 TNT. That is 1 try to do this. 1 try to go under the red arch. Please.
I wonder if his name is actually Veil to Blank.
Come here, pretty please. Can you tell me where I am?
Is that it?
You, won't you say something?
Am I supposed to go left after I step through?
I need to get my bearings amongst, and the shadows keep on
So, Vel2_, what's the deal with this video? Is it some type of map?
It just exists. It's a place, an idea, or maybe just a video. I'm not sure yet, but this thing, Odyssey 8 or something, sent me. There's something there.
But, what? Why look for it if you don't know what it is?
It's just worth it. I don't know if you get that.
Well, what's the get?
You're not asking the right questions.
Okay, then tell me, what are the right questions?